The NBA world has constantly doubted Stephen Curry. From being the 5th point guard drafted in his class,
and there's just a sense that he's not the big-time athlete,
to his entire career being in doubt.
My word, he just got it caught on his toe.
To not being a closer.
With the game on the line, one shot, who would you rather have taking it, Iggy or Curry?
Of everyone on Golden State, open shot, fate of the universe on the line, or the Martians have the death beam pointed at Earth, you better hit it. I want Iguodala.
He crazy.
To not being able to score without help, to not winning any more championships. On August 8, 2024, Team USA's basketball Olympic run was looking over. It would be the 2nd year in a row that the US wasn't the best, and this year would hurt even more after we assembled our best roster. Noah Lyles would be right.
World champion of what?
Throughout the entire Olympics, Steph was in a slump. Team USA was winning, but had not impressed in the Olympics, even nearly losing exhibition games.
This is bad.
And in fact, Stephen Curry has gotten the reputation of being a frontrunner. That he performs his best only when there isn't pressure, when his team is ahead in score. And on Thursday, Team USA was constantly, and I mean constantly, behind. But there was one man among the stars, and no, it was not LeBron, not Kevin Durant. It was a 6'2", undersized, not generational, one-dimensional guard that saved an entire country, and once again proved everyone wrong. But somehow it was even more impressive than that, and it wasn't the only time. This is the one big thing for the weekend we need to acknowledge. I'm tired of this generational hate. What is up, dudes, that's ballers, players? It's your boy MJ. Team USA had beat Serbia twice in 3 weeks coming into this matchup, but the last meeting was not easy. They were down 10-2 in the first quarter, but Kevin Durant put together one of the greatest Olympic performances we have seen, going a perfect 8 of 8 from the field to lead the US back. LeBron also made his first 8 shots. It took some effort, but we got past. So the third time would be rough. Serbia came out of the gates on fire, but so did Stephen Curry.
5 to shoot. Back outside. Curry contested. Doesn't matter. Holiday skips. Wide open. Curry. Cash.
Steph is here.
He would score 14 of US's first 15 points. Even Serbia's players were in awe of what Steph was doing.
Hey.
Even with that, Serbia was cooking, hitting several threes themselves. When Steph went to the bench, Serbia was only up 4. When he would come back into the game, they were up 10. Serbia would lead the game for a little over 90% of the game, but the US was always in striking distance, heavily because of what Curry was doing. But here's the thing, before this game, several reporters, YouTubers, just the general media was calling Curry a role player, that he wasn't necessarily capable of standing out in this type of situation.
Nani?
Yeah, he was part of the core, but he didn't have a good previous 4 games. But people like to doubt Steph. This Olympic game was a culmination of who Steph is, an aggregation of several doubts answered. We'll get to the recent events, and we know about the pre-NBA claims of limited upside, undersized, but how about in his unanimous MVP season? Here is what Colin Cowherd said during the 73-9 season.
Steph Curry's not the most valuable player. If he's the most valuable player, then why are the Warriors favored by 5 tonight on the road against Portland and he's not playing? To me, the 2 most valuable players in this league are LeBron, 1, and Chris Paul.
Brother, Steph won unanimous MVP. Chris Paul was not more valuable. Why is the media always trying to hype up Chris Paul? Like, remember when he was randomly MVP candidate in 2021 against Jokic?
Huh?
Okay, I'm gonna stop because otherwise I could keep going for a long time. And we got takes like this.
And some of those shots that he used to put up and make, and people never said anything wrong about them, was because they used to go down. They don't go down anymore, and you know what they look like? They're bad shots. Steph Curry reeks. He's the reason why the Golden State Warriors are struggling. KD took his lunch money, took his team from him.
That was during the 2019 season when the Warriors were facing the Rockets in the playoffs. I swear some of these people should not have a job in mainstream media. Stop with the recency bias, man.
Stop it. Get some help.
This came after a Game 3 where Kevin Durant scored 46 points, but Curry shot 7 of 23 from the field and only scored 17 points in an overtime loss. And I'll be honest with you, I've been critical on superstars being inconsistent in the playoffs. If you're categorized as a superstar, you can't have 2 or 3 bad games in a series that lead to losses. You can have a few okay, you need 2 great, so let's keep that criteria in mind. Right after these comments, Curry scored 30 points and 8 assists. KD had 34 in a loss. And then, as all of us know, Kevin Durant gets hurt in Game 5 in a very close game. And Curry, who was relatively quiet until that point, started to take off. He would score 12 points in the 4th quarter, and the Warriors would come away with a crucial Game 5 win. The same idea that somehow Steph could not carry a team despite leading his team to a championship in 2015 and finals in 2016 without Kevin Durant averaging 30 points en route to the finals, I guess people forgot. And on the road in a Game 6, Curry starts off the game with 0 points in the first half. And what happened next blew everyone's mind. Everyone was roasting Steph during half, calling him a choker, unable to lead a team as the main option, and he took time during the halftime break to look at Twitter, take in all the comments, and let it fuel him. He came out in the second half just putting on a clinic. 3.
He's back in the barrier.
Layup.
Steph Curry.
Off the dribble.
Curry long distance.
Curry would score 32 points in the second half, including multiple clutch threes to close out the Rockets on the road. Again, without Kevin Durant. But of course, that wasn't enough to shut up the allegations that Steph couldn't win without another star, or that he couldn't be leading force of a championship team. It's like they forget that defenders were leaving Durant
What's up, brother? I'm out, man.
with the ball to cover Steph without the ball.
What happened?
And if you're chasing your dreams and you have doubters like Steph Curry, subscribe for more, because that is what we are about at this channel. Fighting all day. You got this. That was the narrative for years as the Warriors dealt injuries and sucked.
And part of that system is just how hard they play.
That's the key, Taylor. It's like, you know, the Suns can have more bodies and they can have...
Has it 8 to shoot. Toscano Anderson. Not that time. Fight for the rebound. Come on, Looney. 9 rebounds now already. Another 3.
Dame said that Curry was struggling because he's not getting the same open looks and isn't used to having the defense focus on him. Bro, you think Curry isn't used to the defense focusing on him? Then what is this? Curry also promptly dropped 62 points on him the next time he saw him and said he took it personal. He also led the league in scoring, but at the end of the year, he also made a statement.
Don't want to see us next year.
And this wasn't the first time Curry had to make a statement based on what was being said. After Curry and the Warriors won their first championship in 2015, everyone was saying the Warriors were lucky to win and that they weren't that dominant of a team. So this is what Curry said.
I don't want to just say I apologize for us being healthy. I apologize for us playing who was in front of us. I apologize for all the accolades we received as a team and individually. I'm very, truly sorry. You know, we'll rectify that situation this year.
In the next season, they started out 24-0. Curry started the season averaging 32 points, shooting 47% from 3. Yeah, they were one of the best teams of all time. And when asked how many more championships Curry would win after signing a new max in 2021, after averaging over 30 points a game, this was Kendrick Perkins and other media members' response.
How many titles do you see Steph Curry winning over the next 4 years?
I don't see the Golden State Warriors bringing home another championship.
And these takes aren't even the worst ones. We'll get to those. But Curry proved once and for all that he could be the guy to lead a team to a championship, despite already having done it in 2015 and not winning Finals MVP, even though he led the team in scoring, setting records for most points in the 4th quarter in the NBA Finals with 17, and the voters literally admitted that they messed up, but okay, the lack of a Finals MVP was changing his legacy. And in the 2022 playoffs, Curry saved his best for last against the Celtics that were able to sweep the Nets and shut down Kevin Durant in a series where the Warriors were down 2-1, no front running. In Game 4, Curry goes off, scoring 43 points in every way possible, including the deep threes, the clutch shots. The Warriors would win the finals 4-2. Curry would finally get his finals MVP. Finally, all these media people, all the fans saying he's only a front runner would shut the f up, right?
What are they gonna say now?
But even this still hasn't been enough, because they came up with something new. As Steph was fighting against Serbia, as Bogdanovic was getting into a fight with Carmelo on the bench,
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
the comments that Mike James made, a former NBA player, came to mind. This is what he said in the summer after Steph won Finals MVP.
And Steph, like, how he plays and how he gets stuff off, it's just kind of one-dimensional at times.
You do know that Steph is amongst the best finishers in the NBA, right? In 2016, he was second in the entire league, even including centers, at finishing at the rim. In 2023, he was the second best finisher in the league amongst guards, and he's already the best shooter of all time. Looking at what Steph was doing against Serbia, sure, he was scoring off catch and shoots, but he was also scoring off the size up in the paint, just all over. Yeah, this was less dribbling than his usual Warriors games, which makes sense for all the players on Team USA. They all have lower usage, but he is creating a lot of these shots by moving off ball. He's figuring out the best angles to attack the defense without the ball. He was moving so much off ball that Joel Embiid got confused and ran into him.
Hell no!
USA gets within 7 and then back down by more than 10, and the fourth quarter is where it all was on the line. When Curry passes and goes near half court, he brings his defender with him. Durant comes off a screen and Curry's defender moves towards Curry, who is still at half court and doesn't help, meaning Durant gets a space to make the mid-range. When the US can finally take the lead, Curry loses his defender off ball and makes the shot that he supposedly isn't able to hit in the big moments, according to all the analysts. But even just a few plays later, Curry provides help defense to prevent the open pass into the paint. Stunts, which tricks Bogdanovic, who instead of passing to the man in the paint for an open dunk, kicked it to who he thought was open on the perimeter, but Steph was already recovering and is right there to steal it. Then goes all the way to finish. The US now have a 5-point lead, and that would be just enough to win the game. In a 40-minute game, Stephen Curry had 36 points, including 9 3-pointers and 8 rebounds. While this was the day that Stephen Curry saved Team USA, he proved it again in the gold medal game, answering another claim made by former All-Star point guard Gilbert Arenas. And man, I cannot believe he said this.
Steph is not a generational talent. Generational means you can't mimic it. Can you mimic Magic Johnson? 6'9" point guard with the vision? No. You can't mimic Shaquille O'Neal's body.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Generational is something that's once every 20 years.
Yeah.
I am perplexed.
Yup, he called Steph not generational. And he said this during the playoffs that the Warriors didn't make this year, so Curry didn't have a chance to retaliate. Something I covered more deeply in the video on why certain players don't like Stephen Curry, yeah, even in 2024, but something again that is inexcusable and constantly doubting what he could do. But Gilbert also went to describe generational simply by the fact that we knew about them before they entered the league.
When was LeBron called generational?
High school.
Okay. When did Shaq become generational? Okay.
Yeah.
When was Tiger Woods considered a generational?
Probably about 3 or 4 years old.
Okay. Wemby.
And Curry was, well, there was a lot of doubt, mainly coming from his size and athleticism.
You have guys like Jeff Teague, Johnny Flynn, Ty Lawson, who we expect to declare for the draft today. Even Drew Holiday at UCLA are seen as guys with more upside. And then you have Steph, who's a spectacular shooter, but not a true point. He's going to measure out at just over 6'1", not at 6'3" that he's listed at. And there's just this sense that he's not the big-time athlete.
And so, in the gold medal game, among the generational talents like a LeBron, like a Kevin Durant, like a Victor Wembanyama, here is your supposed average NBA player, Stephen Curry, hitting the 3 over Wembanyama.
Catch and shoot.
He hit shots throughout the game, helping the US build a lead, and again, with the game extremely close, under 3 minutes with a 3-point lead, Curry gets to work, hitting not 1,
To quieten things down.
not 2,
He's back. Again with the fake.
not 3,
Curry. Again makes space for himself.
but 4 threes.
Dribble, puts it up. Oh!
And something is ironic about this. Pay attention to the play call by Dwayne Wade after Curry hits the second 3 in this flurry.
That's unfair.
Now that word, unfair, is typically reserved for freaks of nature. Generational talents doing something athletically gifted that no one else can do. And that's what Curry was doing. And just like all the other times people have doubted Curry, he responded with this play. So Gilbert, even if you're just trying to clip farm, Curry responded. It's unbelievable to me that so much of mainstream media, so much of the narrative still doubts this man over and over again. Maybe it's easier to doubt when you're not a 6'8" demigod, but Curry is a demigod in his own way and gave us one of the best basketball moments in history. So salute to you. The all notification watch shout goes to Big Wiggy. Appreciate you. And if you want to know about the tallest woman basketball player ever who makes NBA players look small, there's a video right here. And also, my players still don't like Steph Curry. It's your boy MJ. See you next Saturday at the minimum. We out and we vibe.
Even as one-dimensional as I am. I'm petty though. I'm so petty. You gotta keep that in there though.